Hi, everybody, and welcome to Video Game Saturdays Plus. Today, we're going to do a little discussion on the games that we're currently playing, just to get you guys inside our heads to see what we're doing. So, I have with me today Greg. Greg, how's it going?
Good.
And we also have Armando. Armando, how you doing?
Right here.
We have Eric absent currently. Hopefully, he'll join us later, but if not, he says hello. Alrighty, guys. So let's get the discussion started. Armando, what you got going on in gaming? What's happening?
So right now, you guys know I went over, left the city on the weekends.
Lucky.
And I kind of usually like to drop by retro games and all that, retro game stores. And there was this one place called World 1-1 over kind of like in Santa Maria.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Oh, so you have heard about it?
I've heard about it. Yeah.
It's actually pretty. It's from when I went in there and all that, it was pretty massive and all that. And they had a great selection. They had stuff everywhere. It was just like a massive kind of like, oh my god, kind of gaming store that you want to just go by and visit.
Gotta go, Greg. We gotta go.
Is it better than Game Dude?
Ooh, that's a good question. If you guys don't know, Game Dude is in LA. It's amazing.
So like the World 1-1 and all that, if you're a collector and all that, and you like to see the quality that you're getting and all that, they look like they take care of their games.
Nice.
There's a lot of really rare stuff and hanging and in glass that you're kind of like impressive collection and all that.
Rare, expensive stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah. But it's an impressive store. There's a ton of games, nicely taken care of and all that. So, any collectors and all that, it's kind of one of those places you want to stop by and visit. But I did, since we were talking about Luigi's Mansion 3 coming up, I did pick up to Luigi's Mansion, the one on the GameCube and all that, because everyone told me to do the GameCube and all that.
Absolutely.
And then actually I also picked up kind of an old, obscure game that I wanted to play. It's called Dragon Warriors 2. Tara's Adventure.
Oh yeah, never heard of that.
It's a dual game. It's basically it came out when Pokemon was coming out. It's basically Dragon's Quest version of Pokemon with their monsters and all that.
Oh, interesting.
So on the Game Boy SP, I'm currently playing that right now. Like I said, it's like a Pokemon kind of game where you collect them, fight the monsters around the world, and it's on own little quest and all that.
That's cool.
And then I did start Luigi's Mansion like a few days ago. So it is actually pretty impressive. I was impressed with it. I haven't gone that far into it, but I did beat the first main boss, the baby.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah. I remember that one.
So I'm kind of like, I guess, seeing now a lot of the new ghosts and stuff like that. And there's like a few of them that are kind of learning. It's a challenge to actually try to capture them because they hide behind you and try to spook and all that. And then so that's going on right now. I'm trying to get that one done.
Wait, question. How many times have you called for Mario? For Mario, the A button is for Mario.
Oh,
how many times have you used it?
Spam the hell out of the
Yes, because I remember doing it all the time. Mario.
Oh, I remember that.
And I even make the little directional look to the left.
Yep.
Look to the right.
And when that game first came out, just the graphical quality of it. I mean, that was after the N64. It just blew my mind. Like, that game looked beautiful when it first was released, and all those little details, like the Mario thing was. It brings back great memories for me.
So yeah, I'm working on that one, and then plus I'm also on the Switch side. I'm playing Octopath Traveler, actually getting more in depth with it. I did play with it like a couple hours when I first got it. But like right now, I am actually getting more involved into it. I got into I forgot what the girl's name, but she's the traveling merchant. I'm on her path and all that. Like the first time I played, I was playing the professor's adventure path.
Nice.
But it's graphically it's a great game.
Oh, it's so
very
beautiful.
tactical. I love boosting and all that.
The boost system is amazing.
I
love that.
Mm-hmm. And it's pretty tactical and all that. So I'm working on that one right now too. Right. And then I made the mistake of stepping into Final Fantasy 14 again. So that's going to be another pit of despair.
Did you have to start all over from the?
I did. Okay. Just because I forgot the control scheme, and then what I was doing. That's one thing about me for RPGs and all that. If I leave a game out for too long, I forget where I was at.
Oh yeah,
what absolutely. I was doing, what part, what I completed and all. So
don't worry, I do the same thing. Then you gotta start all over.
Naturally, it's a bad and good thing. I like restarting and all that. So, but then you have to catch up and go through the whole thing.
And the beginning of an
and then
RPG is always slow.
Yeah, and then you realize, oh god, I'm in an RPG. That's gonna take another
100
100 hours at least.
100 hours plus minimum.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm rolling into right now.
Nice. Right.
Do you only have 2 playable characters right now in Octopath?
So when I first started off, when it first came out, I did the professor pack. Yeah. But now with this one, with the traveling merchant, honestly can't remember their names and all that. I'm actually going through the I guess the areas and the adventures, so I'm unlocking all of the characters. So I've unlocked let's see, the cleric girl, forgot what she is. I'm really bad with names. And then I also I went through and did the professor as well, so he's on my side too.
Nice.
I think I've only done those 2 or 3 people.
Cool. What about you, Greg? What you got going on with your gaming world?
Well, really quickly, I've been playing Sonic the Hedgehog for like the last few months, and I just like to pass it here and there. So that's what I've been doing. I actually have it. I have the Sega Ages version on the Switch, and you have save states. And so right now, currently, I have the final boss right there. I've gotten all the Chaos Emeralds. I've done everything. And I'm just passing it over and over again.
Yes, we've witnessed this several times.
And just so everybody knows, it got stuck in my head after Greg passed the boss, so I did post it on our Instagram page. That's at Videogame Saturdays Plus. So technically, according to our page, I'm the one that's been passing it. So just get that straight, right?
Sure. But I mean, I love the save states in that game as much as that's unconventional, I guess you would say. But the reason why is because getting those Chaos Emeralds, it's quite a challenge. And after seeing you pass it, Brian, before and not get anything for it, I wasn't going to do that. So I made sure I got them the first chance I got. And
so it gives you different endings depending on how many Chaos Emeralds you get?
The only difference is if you don't have all the Chaos Emeralds, you'll see Robotnik throw up the emeralds in his hand when it says game over, question mark, I think, or something like that.
Or something?
Yeah, and so the only difference is that's not there when you get all the Chaos Emeralds. And so unlike Sonic the Hedgehog 2, where you got your Chaos Emeralds and you could become Supersonic in the game, nothing happened here.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why I said, forget about it. I'm not going to do that.
And it was heartbreaking, let me tell you. You work hard because you know the minute you miss one Chaos Emerald, it's over. You can't go back. You're done. You can never get them all. And to have that much pressure to get them all and think, oh my God, I can't wait for the end. Let's see what I'm going to get. And in this spare scene, I was ready to throw my Sega Genesis controller on the ground. Terrible.
But I'm fortunate that I was able to enjoy all the music from Sonic the Hedgehog. I think even after hearing it, maybe it's just because I played it so much now, I do think it has the best soundtrack of any Sonic game. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe Sonic 2. Maybe Sonic 2.
No, Sonic 1 to me, and I can agree with you on that, I love the soundtrack. It's amazing. It's the best one for me.
I think so too. Other than that, I went ahead and looked at my collection. I have a large collection of Switch games that I have not played. And so what I did was I went to How Long Does It Take? And that's a website where you can see which games you can finish sooner. And I felt like an RPG, so I searched my RPG list and see what was the shortest one. And I came to Shining Residence Refrain. And so I started that up. And so far, I think it's a good RPG. Nothing really new about it. I really hate the main character. His name is Yuma. He is very mopey, he's not confident. Has very bad self-esteem. And so far, I just want him to be quiet and shut up. And so even...
How many hours are you planning to hit in that game that you went on the website to check?
It said it takes about $20 or $20 worth of game. $1 for every hour. No,
well,
20
nowadays
hours.
With microtransactions, I can understand that.
But no, it's about 20 hours to complete, and so that's pretty short for an RPG.
That's very short.
It'd be longer.
Now that's the original one. So if you play the refrain part, it'll probably double the game.
Oh, because you have to play the
because you have 2 different modes. Oh, yeah. And so I got to 20 hours. But
so just so we're clear and all that, Greg convinced me to buy the Steelbook as well as himself. So I'm gonna have to.
It's shiny.
And it didn't take much for Armando to get it.
No, it did not. So that's good. That's almost on my backlist to get to. So I might have to consider that to pass if Greg's on that path.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's not a bad game. I just don't like some of the characters. Now I will say that they have a very elaborate dating system, and actually that is kind of compelling. Honestly, like You can date as many people as you want, whoever you want.
Oh yeah.
And it's
real
fun.
compelling.
Yeah.
Real compelling.
Honestly, that's the compelling part about it because it runs into the story a little bit, kind of makes it a little bit more exciting. But the battle system itself is really simplified. Basically, you have 2 attack buttons, and then basically you have your special attacks that are linked to the L button, and that's basically it. You turn to a dragon when you're
That's
Yuma.
cool.
So I have to ask you, because one of the things that kind of attracted me about the game was I guess the musical aspect of it.
Yeah.
Is that because the reason why for me that's interesting, only because like I'm not sure if many people recall, but there's a game called Eternal Sonata. Out there for the PS3. It was a PS3, Xbox, Xbox 360, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that game only because it was so tied to, I guess, the musical aspects of Chopin.
So
That was I
but
remember that.
like this is one of the reasons why when I was watching Greg play this game and all that, they were kind of talking about some musical aspects of it and how some of the weapons were kind of like instruments. And all that.
So yeah, you can. There's actually something called a tuning system in the game where you get to tune your weapons so that way they have different effects. And not only that, I'm only about maybe 4 hours in the game right now. But there's also a special attack you can do where 2 of the people in your party get to sing. They have like a little singing thing, like it's very anime, and they provide buffs that way to your characters, and so that way you use less MP, you use less attack points, things like that. And so, at least right now, it looks like that does play a role in it, especially with the villain. I forget her name right now, but she actually sings to her dragon in order to revive them. And so there is at least it looks like there's starting to become a musical aspect to it.
Okay.
That's
So
cool.
you're
I like
starting
that.
to see- you're starting to see
I'm
it,
starting to see it as well, but
okay.
yeah, and then it's coming out pretty good. But like I said, the story is okay. The battle system is really simple, and you get into it really quickly. And the only thing is, I actually do think the dating sim part of it is pretty good, and you can even have a love.
It has another layer.
Yeah, you could even do a love triangle. So you have different, like there's a bonding system, and you have different traits for each of your characters, and depending on the traits you assign to each character, that affects the type of relationship you're establishing with each couple, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And so you can make it a romantic relationship if you want, and if you don't want to make it a romantic relationship, you can make it into a more friendship, a more professional relationship, and so you can do lots of things with it.
Okay, so there's several paths.
Yeah,
it's just getting into therapy.
Yeah, and there's also there's also a synthesizing area, of course, where you can synthesize different I would kind of equate them to materia, kind of.
I remember. Yeah, I did play part of it, and there was that one that young.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yes,
city and all that would let you.
and you can do like
synthesize.
10% and things like that. So there is more elaborate systems in play. I haven't explored them as much, but it doesn't seem too hard to get into. Honestly, like if you wanted to get into it, Brian, I don't think it's that difficult to get into that game.
Well, and I saw that. I didn't know. I thought it was turn-based, and so it's an action RPG, so that does lend itself a little bit better to myself.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but when I was playing it, I don't know if it reminded you guys of like Tales. It kind of looks like
a little
Tales
bit.
when you
Yeah,
play
yeah,
inside.
I can see that. Yeah.
So I mean, good game. I'm hoping to finish that hopefully soon, and so I can move on to the next one.
That is the goal. Just to take a measurement of Armando's backlog. If you know the length of the Great Wall of China, Armando's is a little bit more in terms of backlog space, just to get that. And then to you, Greg, for the dating sim, I would quote Eric by saying, "Why not?" All right, you guys. So for me, I run into this problem every single time I get into any game. That when I see retro games that I want to play, I play them for the millionth time. Right now, I'm playing Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I have 2 threads, and by what I mean by that is I have one where I'm doing flashback just to make the game a little easier, just to pass it, just to kind of see what it's like.
So you're playing it through the Nintendo Switch, right?
Right, through the Nintendo Switch.
The new games that they popped.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it just gave me an excuse to revisit the classics. And then I have another file for Super Ghouls and Ghosts to play it traditionally because Greg kind of mentioned it. I do feel a little dirty doing save features and rewinds. I mean, I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it's really cool, and I wanted to try it this time on a file. But I have to play it the way it's supposed to be played, so I'm going to suffer through it and pass it the right way. Hopefully I can get Greg or Armando to play it with me so we can stream the horribleness of it.
You guys are. That's all you guys.
And then, of course, I started a new game of Super Metroid for the 10th time. And I started, for the 10th time, a new game of Link to the Past. But, I mean, I just love getting back into them and enjoying them. I mean, I just love the Super Nintendo so much. It's probably one of my favorite consoles that I just have to replay them. So hopefully I can just stick to those three, but I expect to probably start Demon Crest soon.
Do you play Super Metroid, Brian, because Metroid Prime 4 is so far away?
Yeah, it's probably the only thing that's filling me. That I'm hoping that if I play it 10 more times, it'll fill the gap in my soul.
And the rumored Metroid Prime trilogy never came to be anything?
We'll talk about that one. That one's heartbreaking. For everybody that has ever heard that rumor, it's heartbreaking. But on the modern side, I had to start again. You guys kind of nailed it perfectly with the starting again. I had to start again. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. It took too long to get back into it, and I feel like that game is so story driven and important that I have to start from it and just really experience it. I mean, for anybody that's ever played it, it's a really great story. A lot of different themes are explored, including psychosis and other type of mental disorders. And from the time that I played, the graphics are beautiful, the story is good, and it's definitely something I want to play.
The sound is actually pretty impressive.
Yes.
too, no, and I actually been playing that too recently. You know, bought it. We actually bought it about the same time.
Yes, we did.
Like on the
PS4 when it was first released.
Yeah, when it was first coming out. Brian got it first, and I heard how good it was and all that, and I bought it, and of course I left it in the backlog forever. But no, I was playing it actually last week.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned.
But it's one of those games that graphically it's impressive. The sound, it's very impressive, but it's also very important.
Mm-hmm,
so
absolutely.
like if you have like a good headset or if you have a good surround sound and all that, I would try your best to get into something like that. Only because it seems like it plays an important part in the game.
Can I ask what makes it important? I don't know if you have to say spoilers.
Because there's several times where you have, I guess, how they said it's a game versus talking about like the mental and psychosis and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of times where you hear voices, and a lot of voices are kind of conflicting and all that. But if you have something that gives you a good depth and all that, you can hear it's weird. It's like a surrounding voice. You hear some right in front of you, some on behind you, some on the left, some on the right.
Okay, that sounds really cool.
And a lot of the voices when they play against each other and all that, it just sounds great because it even like kind of makes you look around like to yourself and all like
where is it?
You know the positive person's over here and the negative person behind me on the side. It's just it kind of gets you involved. For me, it's like another layer. It gets you involved.
Yes, absolutely.
Not necessarily just what you see visually in front of you, but it kind of like your surroundings as well.
Yeah, and I can add to that, Armando, because I kind of saw the behind the scenes when Ninja Theory was making this game, is that they paid a lot of attention to the audio, and what they did was they went for an omnidirectional approach, and they had different mics wired and different people talking from different directions because they wanted to emulate the feeling of somebody that's actually going through schizophrenia or psychosis or something like that. And it was so important because they wanted to create great immersion into the game. They didn't want to just, like Armando said, they didn't want to just be a visual flair. They wanted you to feel like you were in it audio-wise as well. So they definitely put a lot of time into that. The game in the beginning recommends that you use a headphone set or a headset, so that way you can hear it for optimal sound, because it's supposed to be some type of 3D omnidirectional sound. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I was like, just my soundboard's good enough and all that. And no, but then when you start getting into it and you start playing, you're like, okay, that's probably why they want you to the headset and all that, because then you can actually get a little bit more. I guess you could feel more of the surroundings.
Yeah, a little more immersive.
So when I'm buying my sound bar, I should get one of those nice special ones that does the sound from different places, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a smaller room, so like obviously for me and all that, I have the depth is easy for me to pick up and all that. Obviously, maybe for a little bit larger room and all that, probably a soundbar will work out.
Well,
or you have your headset sound.
I can my headset too.
You have it on because you got the which one? The Razer?
The Arctis 3
Arctis
Steel Series.
Oh, okay.
But no, hearing you guys talk about it makes me want to get it. I've been planning on getting it, but on Xbox One, just because I want that extra true 4K.
It did come out on the Switch, but
I think this is a game. I think you've said it.
It's one of those games that you kind of want more of the. I know Nintendo's not really the best powerhouse for graphics and all that.
Yeah.
I would actually get something like the PS4 or the
Xbox
exactly. Version, only because that gets you a little bit more involved in what they're trying to create.
It's a little more immersive, right?
Yeah, with the sound and the visuals and all that. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Although, just to give a little credit to the Switch version, that was one of the best ported games because graphically it held up better than anybody would expect, but you said it perfectly. It's not like the PS4 or the Xbox. And then I'm trying to finish Resident Evil Revelations. I think I have 2 or 3 chapters left, but maybe one day I'll finish that. It's been a fun game, but that was kind of just a fun game. It's not anything in depth or immersive that I play. I just want to play it for funsies because I like visiting the Resident Evil universe. So I should be finishing up that pretty soon. My main focus, my only focus to finish, if I could say in a week or so that we got it done, is Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. I just want to get G4 done. I love this game more than any game I've played in a while, and I'm probably going to say about Iceborne as well, the same thing. But I just want to get G4. Can we get it done, guys? Is it possible?
I mean, tell the monsters it'd be easier.
And I think that, we're all prepared for Iceborne, but I think we all feel like we really want to finish Generations because Generations was an amazing experience. Greg, Armando, and I kind of went 3 players all the way to G4, so we definitely had the difficulty level ranked against us. But it's been such a fun game, and it was really cool to have Armando on board because Greg and I, kind of started on 4, and we really got into the series. But to have Armando also get into it and really enjoy it the way we do, I mean, it's been a hell of a game. And I know we're going to finish that one, but that one's been a pleasure to play from start to finish, I think. So aside from that, guys, that is pretty much what we're into. We'll probably have another video where we can go into other games we're going to play, but we can all speak on behalf of our backlog and say we're a little behind. So hopefully you guys are finishing your games and having fun. Romano, any closing statements you'd like to say?
Not really. Next week, there's probably a few more games that are going to be added to that backlog, but whatever. Link's Awakening, I'm sure.
Awakening.
Is one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Untitled Goose Game that comes out the same day as Link's Awakening. I'm interested in that.
You can add that one to your list. I'm probably going to try to add Astral Chain to my list, though.
Oh, Astral Chain.
Oh, I want to play that one too.
What about you, Brian? What are you going to actually bust out your wallet for?
Link's Awakening for sure. Astral Chain is definitely on the back of my head. I love Platinum games. I'm going to try to wait, but I'm really trying not to buy anything because I got to start passing some of these games. And I got to stop playing retro gaming.
It's alright. They're not going to go anywhere.
I guess not. What about you, Greg? What you got closing wise?
I mean, same thing as you guys. There's a bunch of games coming out in September. Link's Awakening that I want to get. Daemon X Machina, which had a really cool collector's edition in Europe. I was very tempted to get it, but I don't need it. So I didn't get it.
Not yet.
Astral Chain like you guys as well. Nino Kuni's is about to come out as well.
Oh, right.
And there's just too many games to come out and count. So hopefully my goal is to sell a couple of my games
or pass them and then consider selling.
No, I like that. That's a good call, Armando. That sounds better.
I also want to go back and play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is what I want to do really, and go through a New Game Plus because I just love that game. I'm trying to decide whether I want to do New Game Plus or if I want to finally go through Torna, the Golden Country, and then go through that. So lots of things in the way.
Why not both?
Just time. That's a huge RPG, Armando.
I know. Remember we saw that report of someone racking up 6 months of hours on it?
Oh,
that's
my God,
right.
That's crazy.
You really could do that if you wanted to. It's just a lot of work.
My goodness.
Maybe that's Brian's game that he's gonna try.
I do want to.
Xenoblade?
I do want to play Xenoblade.
Maybe the first one,
But
but
I think-
remastered.
Well,
That's a lot of
what
hours.
would you think? Like Persona 5 or that? Persona 5 seems
I guess
like,
Xenoblade would probably be a little bit
a
easier,
little bit more
but
easier and all that.
I want to play both. I think by the time I make a dent in my backlog, I think Xenoblade Chronicles will be out, so remastered. So I'll wait for that one.
well, me and Armando have been telling you if you want to start an RPG, why don't you play World of Final Fantasy
Persona 5.
or Shining Resonance? That's a pretty simplified RPG too.
I guess we'll have to see. Alright, you guys, thank you for joining our discussion. From Armando, Greg, and I, we're thankful for everybody being on. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and look forward to more discussions on Saturday. So thank you guys again. Video Game Saturday Plus is out of here. Good night, guys.
Take care.